Recording? Yes, this is recording. Alright, this is Corey Schild. I'm down at the Alma Intermediate Administration, addressing Mr. McFadden, letting him know about a complaint that I'm filing, not only with the administration, but also with the Alma Police Department on civil rights violations. Along with that is a note, a school note for my child that I'm going to explain to him, and I need him to entail to me that what was explained to me by Officer Kimmons is actually truth and rightfulness. Now, Officer Kimmons told me not to come back on school property. I've done nothing wrong as far as that goes. So if you all are telling me that I don't have a right to come on school property when my children are enrolled in your school, I'd like for you to inform me of that right now.
You have a right to come on school property. You do not have a right to disrupt the educational process or disrupt the operation of a school office. So, yes, you're correct. You do have a right to be on school property.
Yes.
But you do not have a right to cuss, disrupt, threaten. You do not have that right. So
yes.
that may be, I'm not sure exactly what the conversation was between you and Officer Kimmons, but those two things are facts in any case.
And
you see what I mean?
Totally understandable and totally obligable, and that's why I'll inform you right now. Check out Corruption in Crawford County, Arkansas, 1, 2, 3, with more to come, because Officer Kimmons and your Principal Warnock are in that video.
Okay.
Now, when you disrupt and you try to antagonize me, as it is, they do not have that right. That's called harassment, and I can do something about that.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just informing you. As you inform me, I also, citizen that I am, also do the same informing as why I'm going to address your school board.
And you know this, Corey.
And I'm going to clarify to them where I stand.
There are, obviously, we have rights. You know, you and I as American citizens, we have rights, okay. But there are some limitations in the exercise of those rights. You see what I mean? I mean, yes, you have a right to be on school property where your child is. But in the exercising of those rights, there are going to be some limitations to that.
Oh, yes, exactly.
I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make.
But also, like I have Principal Warnock talking to my wife, explaining to her that I had made a terroristic threat.
Okay.
And I got upset in that phone call, of course, because I don't like bearing false witness and I don't like being lied about. So as I explained to Principal Warnock, that if you had charges, I'm already not liked. So I'm sure those would have been done.
Okay.
And
so
I do appreciate false arrest and false imprisonment.
Tell me what you want me to do today. You want me to...
You inform your school, either I take it up there and they do their job politely, or you take it now and the date of her illness is recorded, verified to you, and it can be dropped to them.
Okay.
This is a statement of civil rights violations.
This is for me.
To which, this I need you to make a copy of, because not only are you getting this, so is Alma Police Department. Thank you, sir. I do like this young man, folks. He's a very cordial and good person. And maybe I can learn something from him about it with my attitude. And God bless. Oh, God bless. I hope those days are coming soon.
Well, let me tell you, I have my moments, both good and bad.
Yes, sir. But
okay. I'll make sure the intermediate school gets this.
I appreciate that. And you have a good day,
you too,
and God bless you.
You too. See you.
Now, folks, next we're going to go to the Alma Mayor's office and then to the Alma Police Department to not only address Mayor Jerry Martin, but also to address Chief Russell White. So that will be our next stop. Okay, folks, now we're here at the Alma Police Station, And I'm going to walk over, sorry, and address Mayor Martin's office, and then the Chief of Police. Due diligence, folks. Cover your bases and cover your butt. That's how it works. So, we're in the mayor's office. How you doing, young lady?
Good, how are you?
You, pretty good. You're Brooklyn?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is Mayor Martin in?
He is, but he's on the phone right now.
Okay. Well, I can wait if that's not a problem. I want to inform him of a civil rights violation that I'm going to be dropping off to your police station to Officer Chief Russell White or whoever the watch commander is, and he can realize where I'm going from here.
Okay, yeah, it'll be just 1 second, okay?
God bless you. Thank you.
It'll be just 1 second. Would you like a water or anything while you wait?
Yes, could I, young lady? Thank you. God bless you. Thank you again. Oh, pretty good, sir. Thank you. Oh, how you doing?
Good. Mayor Martin, how are you?
My name's Corey Schilt. This is Mayor Jerry Martin. He's new to Alma, and God bless him. I hope he does some changes here. I'm here to inform you that I'm dropping off a complaint against an Officer Timmons under Chief Russell White in your Alma Police Department of civil rights violations. I've already dropped off a copy of this to the Alma School Administration, also with a civil rights violation of one of the teachers in the school, informing me that me as a handicapped individual am not allowed to park in a handicap spot on school property. I don't know how you feel about that, sir, but
Yeah,
me
well,
as a young man,
I don't know
appreciate it.
anything about it, so I can't comment. I mean, if you have a handicap sticker or a license plate that's handicapped, then obviously you can park in handicap parking places. So,
Exactly. But I can bring your full attention into the matters because I have gotten upset over this. But if you look in corruption in Crawford County, Arkansas, 1, 2, 3, with more to come, you'll see the entire entailment of the situation.
Okay, good stuff.
Like the police, I cover my butt.
Yeah, I don't mind to cut you off either. Is this my copy? Can I have this?
No, sir. This is going over for them to go ahead and file a complaint
Okay,
against
I'm
Officer
going to
Timmons.
shoot a copy of this right quick so I have a copy.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. As I said, folks, new mayor, hopefully, God bless him. He gets this city in line.
Brother, there you go.
Thank you, sir.
And I've got my copy, and I don't mean to rush you. We can make an appointment for you to come by sometime if you want. But I've got a granddaughter playing the piano at 1 o'clock, so I'm out the door.
God bless.
All right.
I've already addressed Mr. McFadden up at the administration because your Officer Timmons told me that I wasn't allowed to go back on school property, even though I did nothing wrong, and my children are enrolled in that school. Which, if he'd like to go ahead and arrest me, that'd be fine too. But as I say, I'm not going to be stricken from my children's school policy. Your last mayor informed me that he had no control over the schools, which I already knew he was lying. But that's besides the point.
That isn't really a lie. The schools in the mayor's office are actually totally independent. They have their own school board, and the superintendent of schools, Mr. Wooley, he answers to them. He doesn't answer to the city. The city has no control over the schools.
Then I apologize for my miscommunication.
Yeah,
on
no,
that,
they really don't. He has a school board that he answers to, and that's separate. Like I answer to a city council. He answers to a school board that is, and it's all completely separate. Money's separate, policy's separate, everything's separate. Now, the only thing that becomes shared are the police officers, because the police officers are Alma police officers that work as resource officers over there at the school. But
Exactly, and with all of the disgusting, chaotic behavior in the country, God bless you for stepping up in your city and putting officers in these schools to keep these children safe.
We need to. All right, well, if you need to holler at me, feel free to call and make an appointment, whatever. I'll sit down and talk with you. And now it's just not a good time because I got a granddaughter I'm going to go see.
Yeah, I'm disabled, so I'm on a fixed income.
Gotcha.
But if we could schedule something for after April 3rd, because I'd like to talk to you honestly about previous behavior in the city.
Sure. Yeah. Anytime.
God bless you. Have a good day.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Now, folks, we're headed over to the Alma Police Department, to where I shall now exercise my right to file a complaint against Officer Kimmons. And inform them that I have already informed the mayor, who is their boss. Good morning, young lady. Is Chief Russell White in? I'm here to file a formal complaint against your Officer Kimmons, badge number 71 of the Alma Police Department. My name's Corey Schilt.
What are you filing again? I'm sorry.
Civil rights violations.
Civil rights violations. You said Officer Kimmons?
Yes. He informed me his badge number was badge number 71. Thank you. Alrighty. Like I say, folks, I don't have a problem with good cops. I got a problem with abusive ones who like to antagonize and harass. Because as I said before, it's amazing how they like to cover each other's agencies over protection of American citizens in this country. But I, as a God-fearing Christian, I'm no saint. I'm trying to be as Christian as possible. But I also am not going to tolerate abusive authority in my children, my wife, or my family's direction. That's plain and simple how it is. That's what lawsuits are for. Even if I'm poor, that's all right. I'll go without my medicine to make sure these papers are filed. Not a problem at all. And then we'll pause this a second until Chief White gets out here, and then we'll start again. Oh, trying to keep from having a seizure here. Stress tends to do that to you. Still waiting on Chief Russell White. And be sometime in between. You Chief Russell White?
I am.
My name's Corey Schultz, sir. Sorry to be such a hard ass, sir.
What's going on?
This is a formal complaint against your officer, Kimmons.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that this was documented, that you received it, and that you are fully aware that I will more than likely be filing a civil lawsuit.
Okay. How do you pronounce your last name?
Schilt, Schildt. I was a former convicted felon for drug addiction for, unfortunately, a great number of years till I moved here in Arkansas from Pennsylvania, to where I met a very, very good Christian woman. And she helped change my life and probably saved my life. The good Lord blessed me with 5 children who, since I've been in Alma School District, have repeatedly been injured, have repeatedly been looked over when it came to justice on their behalf. And as a pretty damn good father, sir, I ensure justice for my family.
Okay. I don't have anything to do with the school district stuff, but Officer Kimmons, and I'll read this and look at it, but tell me what's going on with Officer Kimmons.
Initially when I addressed, I'm bipolar. And unfortunately, with healthcare in Arkansas being 48th in the nation and education being 49th, that's Governor Asa Hutchinson's problem. That's not mine. But when I went in to address the issues that I went in to address, Officer Kimmons didn't seem to appreciate the fact that my daughter had YouTubed a video of bus driver violating Arkansas state mandate of pulling that bus over when children are standing, coming to a immediate stop for their safety, of course, and that's what we all want. Now, I asked him to do his job. Now, if he filed a summons against Mr. Ortiz or not, that I'm unaware of, but via the Freedom of Information Act, that I can find out. That's not a problem.
Well, Officer Kimmons would have had to witness to be able to.
It's on video. Crawford, let me entail it.
I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying he would have had to witness that. And I remember speaking to you about that. Did you talk to our prosecuting attorney on that one?
She refused to speak to me. And as we discussed before, my children also informed me that since the beginning of the year, that they have gone by from Alma Intermediate School to the Boy Girl Scouts Club, and children have been standing on that bus, and your police officers sitting in parking lots, not stopping said bus. Now, I informed you I will be bringing my children in to also file a complaint on that, and they will be the witnesses.
And that's who you need to take to Miss Baker. So, I mean, she can do a criminal summons is basically the same as a ticket. Basically, what it does, it gives a time for them to appear in court, whoever it's given to. So it would be the bus driver. And then it's the same as if an officer wrote them a ticket. They get a criminal summons, they have to appear in court, and then the judge determines whether they're guilty or innocent. So
due process of the law.
So
completely understand.
In that case, I mean, not that you couldn't bring your daughter in here, and Miss Baker will want a report, so we'll need to do a report. But the way to get it done from that point on is for them to go with Miss Baker. Basically, she swears them in, and then she can issue the criminal summons. Now, once the criminal summons is issued, it's back to us to serve it. Then we go serve the criminal summons, and then they have to appear in court. Now, if they don't appear in court, it escalates from there, and then we'll get more heavily involved.
Mr. Ortiz got a bit of respect from me this morning because as soon as my daughter London got back on the bus, her and my son proceeded to ignore Mr. Ortiz. That same day they get back on the bus, God bless them, which I proceeded to tan their hides, as is my right for discipline. Now, with that, my wife recorded Mr. Ortiz, and this time when she played the recording for me, I was impressed by his behavior with the firmness of him letting my daughter know she's not going to be tolerated with that behavior. So I'm willing to overlook Mr. Ortiz. I may be willing to drop that aspect of that, but your Officer Kimmons, his arrogance, I am not going to tolerate. I will not be harassed. And I can verify this for you, as in videos, corruption in Crawford County, Arkansas, 1, 2, 3, and more to come, because they are on YouTube. As the police like to get evidence and stipulate their facts, I in turn also like to do the same. As I explained to you once before, your Officer Caldwell, very decent gentleman. I have the utmost respect for Officer Caldwell. And right now, with you being a decent man talking, and I apologize for the last conversation we had because I was heated, I was upset, I was angry, and I apologize. But I will not tolerate his arrogance. I will not have false witness bared against me, as in the recording with Principal Warnock, where he told my wife that I had made a terroristic threat. I have never threatened nobody in my life. I may be bipolar, but I am not a violent person unless somebody assaults me. Then it's a different ball game. Then I have my own rights via the Constitution that I will assert.
So, and I don't know at the school. Of course, I can't. We don't have any. The school's a school. It's a different entity than us.
But your officer is your officer.
He's our officer. He works at the school exclusively. That's his job. Now, from what he's told me, and I haven't, is the school has requested that you not be on the campus at the intermediate school, or not in the building, I guess. And I guess that's from Mr. Warnick.
Well, I've already addressed that with Mr. McFadden. He already assured me that that's not the case.
Okay. And that's fine. And as long as it's not, that's not a problem for us. Now, part of his job, and I'm talking about Officer Kimmons' job, is to, provide security at the school. So if they tell us that they are the keepers of the school. So, it's their, even though it's public property, they're deemed in charge of it. So if they tell us nobody's supposed to be on there, then we will enforce that. But it's really the school's decision. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not coming from the police side of this thing.
And I understand that, sir. But until I am informed in writing, he doesn't have that assertion to make.
Well, that's not actually correct. We don't have to inform you in writing if we're going to stop you from going into school because the school told us to. Now, whether the school does or not, I don't know. If the school tells us, and it would be different for me, if the principal told an SRO that I wasn't welcome on their campus, our SRO is going to stop that person from coming on there.
Okay.
That's part of their duty, but it's not not in violation of, to the point that they would go beyond that scope of whatever they told them. But it's really the school's determination. Now, if Mr. Warnick is stepping outside of what the administration building's saying, that's a problem, but it's a problem within the school. You see what I'm saying? Because our officer's not going to have direct contact with Mr. McFadden. His contact is Mr. Warnick.
In that aspect, I don't have a civil rights violation against your office, but I do against the school. So, like I say,
no, I understand
that can be. But can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Absolutely.
Chief, plain and simple, and I mean this with the utmost in my heart, God bless you all for stepping up and doing what you're doing with your officers at the school, because I do not want to see another Parkland, Florida, especially when our children are in there. Not just mine, everybody else's, because they are our future.
Yeah, it's a costly affair to do, but it's well worth it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you have my utmost respect on that. God bless you.
And I'm sorry you're having trouble out there. I wish that it's not. We're kind of in the middle of this, I guess. The police are kind of in the middle. Not that we don't end up that way, and every family disturbs we go to and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know if it's, and I don't want to speak for the school because I don't have anything to do with them as far as their administration and stuff. But if McSpadden's telling you one thing and Warnick's telling you one thing, my guess is McSpadden's the correct answer. McSpadden's.
Well, Dr. Woolsey, Mr. Woolsey, he refuses to speak to me. Oh, Wooley's his name? Okay.
Yeah, Wooley's the superintendent, and Mr. McSpadden is the deputy superintendent.
Okay.
And so, and Mr. Warnick is the principal, which puts him the caretaker of that building, but he does work for
Understand.
Wooley and Mr. McSpadden.
Understandable. But what's amazing me is every time that stuff comes up against my children, the school has video. Every time stuff comes up involving injury to my children, that video gets lost. God, that's amazing. Here's one thing that I can do also, too. As I explained to you, corruption in Crawford County, Arkansas, 1, 2, 3, with more to come. That's a fact, sir. You have a Captain Jerry Pointer, I guess his name is. Jerry, okay. I have a loss sometimes in the brain, like I say. With this stress, I've been having a lot of seizures also, and that's not your problem. God bless you. That's mine. But when I came in to file the initial complaint, he told me to get an attorney and go file something at the courthouse. He did not do by policy of police stations. And if that's not your policy in this police station, that when I come in as a citizen to file a formal complaint and you do not inform me that I pronounced your name incorrectly, and you do not inform me that I have the right to file a complaint in your police department, that becomes another issue.
Well, and the complaint, we take complaints on any complaint that somebody wants to take, unless it's, now sometimes in civil issues, criminal, yes, in civil issues, sometimes we don't. I don't know what y'all's conversation was, but
watch the video.
In civil cases, we don't necessarily, we will advise people they need to seek counsel or whatever, because we don't do civil.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with all the attorneys in Arkansas. They don't like to do their job. So with me getting an attorney, I am my attorney. Since I've been going through, pardon my French, bull crap with Crawford County, since we moved into Van Buren, because we already have a lawsuit in the Supreme Court against Parkview Elementary and Crawford County Sheriff's Office. And like I say, read the descriptions underneath too. You'll see that I went through every chain possible. And this all started because a child family welfare service worker some years ago made a false allegation of child abuse, used a legal law enforcement statute, and had my wife brought into court, which was thrown out because my wife has no record. She's a God-fearing, good Christian woman, and nobody is going to mess with my wife or my children. The government works for the American people. Whether President Trump likes it or not, he works for me. He may be my president, but I'm not his boy.
So let me tell you how this is handled on the complaint and what we do. We have a system for dealing with complaints, and they come to me. So we investigate the complaint, then we will determine, basically, I may not be the only one investigating, but eventually it will be my determination as to what we think of the decision of the complaint. If there's anything valid in the complaint, then we decide how we deal with that. And then there's a record, basically a written statement from me that I write.
Which I have a right to be informed about.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I was going to tell you. And I'll have a statement addressing what you've filed here, and then we'll contact you, let you know the outcome of it. And let me get your phone number too.
Phone number, we live way out in the country, and with ASA's new rural development program, we won't see it for 6 years.
Okay,
So I'm kind of in a screwed situation.
So how did I get a hold of you?
As of my mailing address is on the form there, listed. There is phone number.
106 Old Graphic Road?
Yes, sir. Mulberry, Arkansas. I forgot to put that down. I apologize. 72947. Thank you, sir. I'm going to try to get my wife's cell phone turned back on next month, but I had my back broken in the oil field, sinking pipe in the ground for the constituents of Arkansas. That's why I'm a bit peeved. I've changed my life around from the cocaine distributing moron that I was as a young man. I'm no longer that person. I am a good person. I have a good heart. I may be ugly on the outside, sir, but I'm a damn good person on the inside. Well, God bless. But with that, I also need to know how I go about getting information out of your department on complaints of excessive force.
Well, that would come through me. I'll be honest, you'll have to, what you need to do is I need just a written form.
Freedom of Information Act.
And it really, you don't have, but yes, just a written form and detail, and, you know, I need a time frame. I mean, I hope you don't want some from 1947.
Yeah, I want them all.
From 1947?
I want them from when your police department was opened.
Yeah,
I don't care how much it costs
well,
me. Chief White,
well, let me just explain this to you first.
let me interrupt you one more second. I'll let you explain. I apologize. I'm going to do without medicine that I greatly need to make sure that this civil lawsuit is filed, and I am going to subpoena all said people informed, because I actually have a letter when I addressed the issue with my wife on the fictitious charges that were brought against her, and Asa Hutchinson actually had to go nads to have a tax-paid attorney send me back a letter, which I have, stating that Arkansas statutes immune him from the Freedom of Information Act. Well, Mr. Governor is apparently the biggest dumbass on the face of the earth, because no man in government is above an American citizen. That's a plain and simple fact, and I'm going to subpoena him in this civil suit, and he's going to love me.
Back to the force issues, on the excessive force. So here's what I can do.
It's not just necessarily excessive force, sir. I'm looking for complaints of any misconduct brought about against your police department.
Okay. I will have the ones that we have. The ones that were prior to me being here, I won't have any ability to get it. That's before computers and all that. Now, if I can find anything, I'll give you everything we got. I will tell you this, only because I don't know what exactly all you're looking for, but Officer Kimmons, I hired Officer Kimmons, so I've known him since he worked here, and he's had none of either, none ever. So I can tell you that.
Well, I'll explain the situation behind why I'm asking you for that.
It's okay that you ask. I don't mind.
Well, no, I'm going to explain.
I just don't know.
I'm going to explain to you why. Probably about 6, 9 months, maybe a year ago, I came through your town. I'm on a fixed income, so in order for me to pay my bills in a timely manner, I go down to the bank, I withdraw what I can from the ATM machine, wait till a few minutes after and withdraw what I need, so my mortgage is paid. I don't have to worry about my children losing their roof, whatnot. It was a rain night, and one of your officers, a female, brown hair, I can't remember her name, but I waved. Now, upon that, when I came out, she got behind me. She did not put on her blue lights. She followed me onto the highway, all the way up to the turnaround where the Arkansas State Police like to sit. And then she pulled me over, claiming that I crossed the white line. For one, she's out of her jurisdiction. I did nothing wrong. If she had an issue with me, she should have did it while she was in your city limits. That I can entail in a brief. That's not a problem.
I'm not sure which turnaround you're talking about.
Up going towards the way station, towards Van Buren.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, with that, she put her blue lights on and pulled me over. Well, I'm not a stupid individual. As I said, I already know I can nail her for out of jurisdiction. That's what I'm looking for, because that should be on your MDRs, being that she put on her blue lights and she pulled me over. Now, upon her coming up and addressing me, she asked me why I flipped her off. And I got a bad habit of that. Sometimes I get angry. It's freedom of speech. If people don't like it, sue me. That's what I'm going to do. But I did not do that to this young lady. I waved to her because at the time you all were resolving an issue that was against my children, and I greatly appreciated it. And I guess you could say I'm a cocky individual, especially when I'm in the right. So she pulls me over, illegally, I might add, and says, "Why'd you flip me off?" And I explained to her, I didn't flip you off. If you go back and you look at your camera, you'll see this was my hand, not this with the other finger. Mr. McFadden's helping me out with my language and my attitude and trying to calm it down, sir. And I greatly appreciate this. I like in the Bible Belt that I have met more hypocrites than I have Christians. That's my prerogative and my opinion to say. But I will not be harassed by your police department. That I'm going to clarify with you right now. If I violate the law, God bless. Do your job. That's what you're here for. As you had an accident out there at the auction house before they stopped doing that, I don't know if you remember it, a truck had wiped out and flipped on its roof. One passenger had climbed out, kind of ejected. The other guy was trapped in the cab in the driver's seat. I pretty much stopped with other individuals as first responder on the scene to address it and make sure everything was good to go, this and that. My own body getting cut up beyond belief, which I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about the gentleman in the accident. Now, what really amazed me was the fact that 2 Arkansas state troopers came up and shook my hand and thanked me for doing what I did and helped directing the situation as I did. Whereas your officers stood back with arrogance.
I can't address what I don't know anything about, but I understand what you're saying.
But you can understand my point of view and why I'm a bit upset. I will not be talked down to. I will not be thrown because I am a changed man. I do abide by the law, every aspect of it, and I got to do what I got to do for the protection of my family, beyond physical force, because I will not threaten anybody with physical force unless brought to me. I come from a family of police officers, so I already know how the game is played.
I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm going to assume, I don't disagree because I don't.
What I mean by that is when the brothers in blue, even good cops, overlooked the behaviors of bad cops because we're a family. I think you might want to think about we're a country of kinsmen. We're all citizens of this country. You're my brother as well as I am yours, sir.
I agree with all of that. Maybe bigger than that, not just our country. You said you're a Christian, we're brothers in Christ, we're brothers, we are. So we're all tied together.
God bless you.
Is there anybody, all aspects of everything, you develop friendships and things like that. So is there some of what you're talking about? Yes, in any profession you're in. I do understand that. We work for that, against that, and we try to police our own. And so, that's the reason we have a process for dealing with complaints. It is, and we'll deal with it and see what it is. And I'll be honest, most every time when we get complaints, there's not much against the officer. It's more somebody mad about the situation. But sometimes.
Oh, you'll see this sometime is correct.
The officers do something wrong. And, they're humans and they do something wrong. And that's.
Well, we are.
I've been doing this a long time. I have no doubt that happens sometimes.
As I explained, I'm a sinner.
We'll go into this looking at it with open eyes.
Thank you, sir.
We will. Okay.
And that I do appreciate. But here's another aspect that I'm going to pass along. I've already did a Freedom of Information Act on Van Buren police stations, police procedures and policies, which at the time it was Chief Keith Bell, I think is Kenneth Bell. Okay, and his officers had some arrogance, which that's audio recorded. Some friends of mine informed me, for your own safety, start video recording. Well, I say it's nothing against you, but you've seen on YouTube as many times as everybody else how many officers out there like to push the limits with their behavior and their authority.
Well, yeah, I see videos. There's always the videos are good. We deal with them all the time, use them all the time. But they are from one perspective. I'm not saying what's on videos is not correct. They're just from one perspective, and sometimes not the whole time. The video's not all that happened.
Well, my point on that is,
I'm talking about ones I see on TV.
Yes.
They're segments of a video. They're not the whole picture.
Well, YouTube and other Instagram and other stuff like that, you get a more descriptive perspective of it. But my point is on that is I've already did the Freedom of Information Act on their police procedures and policies. And God bless me, since when an officer is asked a statute, it's your job to inform me. That's my right and that's your duty. If I ask you for a hard copy of said statute, that's my right and that's your duty. I already have that recorded by several officers informing me I am correct. Now I will be posting their policies and procedure on the internet because I believe that the American people should be well informed and not be held down and restricted in the information that's our right.
I'm completely good with that.
God bless you.
There's no reason. I mean, everything outside of our ongoing investigations is freedom of information. That's hadn't changed in many years. So that's.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, sir, I've had many police officers and police stations actually violate my rights and pretty much diss me because of my felonies. The misdemeanor warrants that I have that you all can't do a dang thing about, plain and simple, is because people in Pennsylvania violated my rights up there, including judges. And I have enough dirt on them that they're smart enough not to push the issue. They'd like to, I'll sit and do my time, but I am going to be so, how much do you say, antagonistic when I get out. But being that the marijuana charges, from the president's point of view, from what I understand, have been lifted against a lot of people, not only in California, but in Pennsylvania. And God bless, I don't care if they have or haven't. I've lived here almost 20 years, and I have never done anything in violation of Arkansas State. As a matter of fact, before all this crap started, I loved living here. I respected you folks more than I did my own hometown because I grew up with that ignorance. I seen it firsthand. I've been here for 50 years, sir. I grew up poor. I've strived to make my life better, but at every turn when I've made a mistake, I've had that mistake shoved down my throat. In turn, you ever watch a show called Chicago PD?
I've seen part of it.
There's an officer, Sergeant Hank Voigt on there. Not the fairest individual as a police officer that we want to see, but morally, I respect some of it, how it is and what's said. But my point, sorry, once again, sometimes I lose train of thought, sir. But my point on that is, Hank Voigt had made a comment to one of his superiors. I don't like to judge people, but when I am judged, I judge back. Just clarifying.
All right, I understand.
Thank you.
I understand completely. I think it's human nature.
I don't like to judge. My wife, unfortunately, went through a mishap, and Crawford County in Van Buren, where an individual had he had done what he shouldn't have done. And instead of my wife being protected, Van Buren Police Department decided they wanted to use us as victims, and especially my wife. Which they got the full brunt of what I had, because when the officer unbuckled his gun, I explained to him, that's the biggest damn mistake you'll ever do. I'm reporting a crime, and if I were you, son, I'd step back, I'd wake up, and I'd put myself in place. That's my right also. So you can understand where I have a bit of resentment with law enforcement here in Crawford County. And if you read the list of descriptions going down through in corruption in Crawford County 1, I addressed everybody. I went through everything all the way up to including this dumbass governor who refused to do anything to protect my family's rights. And as I said, sir, I'm here to protect my family's rights and assert them. And I know you're not a bad person. Actually, I know some people who are familiar with you and some other people, and they speak very highly of you, and they're the ones who inform me. Go talk to him. He will address the issue, and he is a fair man.
I've had a lot of employees here over the years, and sometimes, I haven't had a chance to look through this or check into it, but we'll check it, and we'll look at the facts, and we'll talk to the people involved, and I'll make it clear what our finding is on it. That's doesn't have to be the end of it if you disagree with it, but you may not disagree with it. I'll try to explain.
And I'm also a fair man, sir. I too am also a fair man.
This isn't. I'm not going to say that we have complaints every day, but this is not the first one we've ever had, so it's not like we don't deal with them or know how to deal with them. So.
Well, like I say, I came to Alma School District because a good friend of my family, he's actually godfather and his wife is godmother to our children. I'm sure you're familiar with him because from what I understand, he knew one of your lieutenants. His name's Thomas White. I think he used to do some coaching. Kyle White and Christian White were pretty outstanding students in Alma School District. And he's the one that got me to move from Van Buren down to Mulberry into the woods, which, God bless, I wish to God I wouldn't have done, but we're there, we're buying the land, and I'm stuck to ensure that my children have a future. But, sorry, but, if I have a seizure, don't call an ambulance, just let me come out of it. I apologize. Sorry, sir.
That's all right. Get some fresh air or anything?
Yeah, let me stop this video.